Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like the no shoes concept. That's a good. So we'll begin with the very first part of what we did learn last or on Monday, and that is right hand strong and left hand open. And we bow. Very good. And now preparation. So heels together. So right away, the very first movement is this weight shift, right? So you're gonna, everybody starts to lean a little bit. So lean over into the right leg, empty out this left leg, steps out, and just let yourself glide over, pick up the right toes, they're parallel, and beginning Tai Chi. So inhale, a little bend in the knees, that's gonna lift with the top of your wrist, and pull in, let the elbows come back, break this side center line, and exhaling down. Now we shift weight into the left. That weight shift is going to be what kind of starts lifting the arms. So here we have this chi ball, and all we do is turn on the heel, yes, and then put the weight into this foot. So now we're moving into ward off left. Pick up the left foot, step forward. The weight shift starts your arm motion. So the arms basically are switching places. Pick up the right toes, and we end up with left hand in front of the chest, throat area, facing you. Right hand palm down by your hip. Okay. Now we turn on the right toes. Now we're moving into something new, just because I mean you guys are really have a lot of aptitude for this. So I'm praising you. So take it in. Turn on your right toes. Yep, and you're gonna put your heel right where your toes just were. Okay, so this hand was here. Now we're gonna shift weight into the right. So this, remember, the weight shift tells you when your arms move. This right arm is gonna come up, and now you're going to compress. So rather than just move this left hand, like without any body motion, I want you to pick up the left toes, and that turns your, yes. So more weight in your right, yeah, right. So we're in front stance, and back toes are pointed to the shed. There you go, perfect. So this is ward off right. Good. Okay, so we'll do that again. We're gonna do the whole thing again. We're gonna do preparation, beginning Tai Chi, ward off left, ward off right. Okay, shift your body weight into your right leg, yeah? And get ready to step out, shift, pick the right toes up, beginning Tai Chi. So remember, kind of get this set, and lift up, inhale, palms come open as the elbows start to drop, and then elbows cross that center line, exhale, arms down. Shift weight. That lifts we start to hold this chi ball. This is the big chi ball. You turn on the right heels, step into the right foot, preparing for ward off left, step, yes, step, and shift. The weight shift tells those arms, and then we close. This is called the quad, the hip crease. Close the quad. We're into ward off left. All right, getting ready for ward off right. Turn on the right toes. Nice. Put the heel where the toes just were. The weight shift lifts this right hand, yeah, and then you close the left quad, and that's what's going to bring the left arm. You're holding a smaller chi ball up here in front of your chest. Okay, good. All right, now I'm going to give you directions, only verbal directions. Okay, so prepare. shift body weight into right foot. Lift left foot out. Set it down, shift even weight, then lift right toes and parallel the feet. Good. Beginning Tai Chi, lifting, top of the wrist, lifting up. At the top, you're gonna let those palms open and coming down and exhaling this whole way down. Preparing for ward off left. Good, shift weight, perfect. Into left foot. Good, turning and stepping. Okay, so remember, get your chi ball here. So we were here. As soon as you start to shift, the shift goes, you get your chi ball ready. Turn on the right heel into the right foot, and now we step and switch arms. Close the quad, ward off left. Okay, I said only verbal instructions to myself too. Prepare for ward off right. Turn on the right heel. Yeah, and now, or sorry, the toes. So then you're going to put your heel, and that's my bad. Turn on your right toes. So then you put your heel where your toes just were, and we shift. This shift is going to lift this right arm up, and then we close quad. Yes, yes, good. Okay. There's several places where things get, if you start to get a little out of line, then your next step's not going to be right. And so I couldn't see you, but I just know from teaching people where those usually are. And that is right here at ward off, moving into ward off left. So we come here, when I come here. When you go to step this left foot, be careful you're not stepping closer. You need to stay in this same line. When you come into here, I shift, and I need this foot to come there. Yeah, yeah, yes, exactly. Otherwise, if you step too close and you've come into ward off left, you're not balanced, right? So then when you go to move into, it's just hard to open up your hip if you don't have a wide enough base, right? So move in, just start at prepare. Start at beginning Tai Chi for me. Feet hips width. Up and down you go. Okay, so shift weight left. You're going to turn on that right. You're turning, and this first one you're just turning on the heel. Yeah. Shift weight. We got the chi ball, right? And step.
Like that way, or I don't know where I'm at.
That's okay. Yeah, here I'm even.
Okay.
Right? And I'm going to turn, and this foot is going to stay on the same exact line. It's going to stay right here.
And the line that's in front of your toes in the beginning?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
So my feet end up that far apart, not closer together.
I have a cue ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like this. I feel like my feet are too close
Your feet are
together.
too close together now, yes. So you start with them hips width.
Okay.
Here we are. This is where you turn on your heel. Yeah. Shift weight. And now step straight in front. Yes, straight line. Yeah. Somehow, Mary, yours are still very close together. So to start this, to get yourself wider apart in the very beginning with your preparation, when you shift and step out, step a little wider. Okay. Yeah. If that's not in your range of motion, it'll get there. So then the direction is their shoulder width apart. So hips width is closer. So shoulder width is where we need to be. So because if every step starts to get an inch closer, then eventually you're going to be very close. So that's the first place, and then then after we come into go into ward off right, here we are, ward off left. End up here. Go ahead and be here. When you turn, now we're going to turn turn onto the toes, and then put the heel where the toes just were. And now we shift, and the shift lifts this right arm, and then close the back leg to move the arm there. So the foot moves, then the arm moves. Is that making sense? When I am here, I'm in ward off, left, because this is my left arm. I turn, step, shift. I'm still here. I'm still, like, the hands are still kind of far apart. Then the final thing brings them closer together. Turning this chunk of me brings the hands closer together. This didn't move at all. So that's one way. Now that you start to learn Tai Chi, when you watch people do Tai Chi, you can see if they're arming it. You know what I mean? It is, your arms are just the expression of what's happening around the pole. So if in the arms flailing out too wide, that from a martial arts standpoint, that's too easy for someone to grab you, and then you're done. You're gone. They're gonna grab you and pull you down. So keeping the arms in, and usually elbows are bent or soft, you know. So good. So that's I wanted to spend time going over what we learned on Monday. Now I want to go into some joint freeing exercises and some qigong exercises. So we're gonna close, open, strong fist, open. There's bug spray too. I see them around your I see a lot of them around your leg.
We'll all live together.
Yeah. Now you're going to close the hands and open. So the pinky starts the closing and the thumb starts the opening. Yeah. You can add a little spiral in and a spiral open. Good. And now you're gonna little circles first. Yeah, that's the home remedy with the dish soap only lasts a few days. It's not like once a month like the mosquito people. And switch directions. Good. All right, now turn the butter. Keeping the palms together. And then we'll switch directions, whichever way you went. All right, some tendon exercises. We come up, it's called neck of the crane, and then palms totally flat away, and then more of the inside, the thumb side, and then the outside. Neck of the crane, and then palms away, inside, outside. Neck of the crane, palms, inside, and outside. Now we do the push, like something's really heavy. So inhale and push. Yeah. And then they float back. Yep. Push. And float back. Good. Push. And float back. Now up, push. Sometimes we do up first, sometimes we do out first. Doesn't matter. Push. If you can really engage open the palms a lot. Good. And now out. Float back. Out. And float back. Good. One more out. Yep. Float back. And now down. Good. Down. And one more. Good. Check them out. If they're really eating you, please. Yeah, I see him. I see. Yeah, you're at the buffet. You are the buffet.
That tastes good.
Yeah, yeah. And come in. And switch directions. Good. just up 3 times. 1, down, 2, down, 3, and down. Good. Shoulder rolls. Typically, this around repetitions of 9 in each direction is the goal, and switch directions. So increments of 9. It could be 9, 18, 27. Good. Okay. So moving down the body now into the waist. So we want to get as much space between the shoulders and the hips. So if we're trying to pull the shoulder girdle off of the hips, you want to move the hips down. So there's that kind of tuck, and a little bend in your knees is going to make the pelvis move downward, right? And so we hang down, let yourself hang down, and let this be as active as you can comfortably make it. You're going to really kind of jump up, and then down, and up. Good, and down, up, and down, up, yeah, up, wow, up, up, yep, and last one, up, good, and shake it out. Perfect. Now you're going to start to turn. There's 2 ways to do this. You turn what I call into the weighted leg, and that is like you're stepping. My weight's in this side, my weight's in the side that I'm turning, side or side. And then just to keep it interesting, you can turn into what I call the open side. So you shift your weight, and then you would turn into the side that doesn't have weight into it yet, and then you shift and shift. Let your arms bounce off your abdomen and your back. Yeah, good. Good. Slow it down, and we'll start to turn like you're standing in a hula hoop or a barrel. I'm going to bring the fans out next time too, to just get the air moving so they can't land. And switch direction. Feel free to move more slowly or faster than I'm moving to accommodate your hips. Good. All right, so for this one, this is moving into really getting into hip flexor relationship with hip flexor in the what are called the adductors. So you're going to lift the knee up and let the knee come back and down. So if you can turn it into a balance position if you try not to, don't let that leg touch the ground. Yeah. And if you need to use a tree or your neighbor to keep you balanced. But my advice is up higher with the knee, because then you can get up and over the hip flexors. You completely contract them, and that's going to let your knee go up. So now change, go back to front. Yeah. Up. 7, 8, 9. Now we get to do the other side. I feel like you have a different body on this side, so. It's okay to let your body turn a little bit. Your chest does not have to stay totally facing forward, so. And if you, sometimes to get that range of motion, go ahead and give your knee a little lift. So go ahead and get up higher. You feel what I mean? When you get it up higher, it like kind of goes further back. It disengages the, one more back, and now back to front. Ooh, you got chomped on, huh?
He got me.
We can always say uncle and go inside him.
Get it back?
Yeah. Did you spray?
I'm going to.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. It's like this one, last one, good. I don't know, there's where two tracks come together. I don't know if they're like, they switch or something happens. Something happens. Something intense happens there. Okay, so that was, now we're gonna move into some horse stance practice. To find your horse stance, you can do this type of thing. You start with your feet similar to the beginning of Tai Chi, then your heels come out. Yep, then your toes come out, and you parallel the feet up. And then you go down and you figure out that might be too short and make them wider. So the horse stance, I would prefer you not go down as far. If going down further makes you tilt forward, right? So I'd rather you be up here and be straight on the horse. So this is what I mean. So we're gonna inhale and exhale then. So if I went any lower down, I would start to collapse in my abdomen. I want to stay up here. Yeah, good. Inhale, and now exhale. Inhale, in rhythm of the compression, something. Yeah. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So the double hands forward is a block. So there's effort there. There's a push up. Yeah. One more. Now inhale. Now we're going to come down and breathe. So breathe in. Good. So you're sinking down. Trying to get the feet parallel. There is another stance called the bow stance where your feet go out like that, but this is horse stance. And you're sinking down. 3 more breaths. 1, 2, 3, and stand. Good. Stand together. Shake your legs out. You can move your thighs around a little bit. Yeah. Okay, for the knees, we straighten the legs. Nice stretch for the backs of the hamstrings, and then bend the knees. And straighten and bend the knees. Straighten and bend the knees. As long as the backs of your knees are okay with it, give a little push. When people talk about having tight hamstrings, it's really, they have tight knees, the sides of the knees. That's where your hamstrings actually hook in. Okay, now we're going to speed this up. So try to do 1 inhale, 1 exhale at each rhythm. So we inhale, exhale. Great. Shouldn't be on me. Yeah. Okay, so now we just do the ankle rolls. You want to lift the knee up, get more action, go for it, switch directions. Good. Switch legs. Switch direction. So throughout these, through the joint freeing exercise, it's not so much stretching, okay? It's more just trying to literally warm up the joints. So if you know, thinking about going like 70% of your range of motion is totally fine. It's totally enough to do that. So this first Qigong warm-up we're going to do is we're going to practice that gliding that we talked about. So that preventing the bobbing, you know, the bobbing action. So we're going to learn to step out and back, and when you look at me and when you see your, try to keep yourself at that same level. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do, the feet are going to be together, all the way together, and we're going to inhale. Now follow this hand out, following my right hand out. So now the hands will come in the front. I'm still following this hand. Now put your weight into your left leg, right? And step out with your right leg. Yeah. Then even out the weight, arms come down. Now you're going to follow your right hand. And now when we come back together, you're going to bring leg back. Good. And so exhale down. Inhale. Follow the hand, and then shift, step out. Yes, follow the other hand. Hands come back. So when the hands are here, this is our initiate. When the hands are in the middle, that initiates our step out or forward. Okay? So, again, inhale out, hands forward. Now this downward motion is going to bend my knees a little bit. I get my weight into the foot, step out. There. And back, then stand. So the bobbing, it's a very clear, I'm out, I stay in this motion, and I come here, and I stay in this motion, and then straighten the legs. So there's not this blurred area of I'm straightening and stepping in. The step in happens when I'm still in that bent, strong kind of crouch position, because that takes, there's no weight in this leg. There's this tendency to have this weight in this, still in this leg if I start to lift up, because it's a natural, like you're gonna wanna lift, push off that leg. So think of this empty leg, standing leg, empty leg, standing leg when we do the next round. You can add in the head too, it just gives us this neck rotation. So follow your hand out. Follow it in, down, step out. I'm still switched and looking at the other hand. Step in, good, much better, good. And step up, yes, pretty. Down, step out, step in. Nice, so it's the same, you can see that it's the same leg stepping out, stepping in. Yeah, good. Okay, good. Now this is a twist. This is one of my, this is an oldie but goodie. It just came back into my practice, which I really, I missed it. It's called Rhinoceros Gazes at the Moon. Like I love the lost in translation of some of the exercises. The next one we're gonna do is called Repulse Monkey, which is like, that's not a thing. Like, that's not what monkeys do. But, okay, so we start with our feet up together because we do this step out. So it's very similar to what we just did. We're going to bring arms out, right? And shift, yeah. And step out with your left foot. Now you're going to turn, okay, so now what's happening is you're going to open, you're gonna feel like your knees are kind of torqued, and that's kind of, the knees are staying where they are. Your weight's in your left foot. Yeah, there you go. And you're going to turn and then look up. Come down with the hands. Now turn all the way back, and you get all the way back here before you straighten up, okay? Yeah. I'll switch. I'll go this direction. So you guys just did that way, I'll go this way again. So we start, feet together, open, in, step out. So the turning is initiated when the arm arms going like this is initiated when I start to turn. So there's this kind of, like you reach as far back as you can with your hands, and then when they can't get up anymore, then you turn and palms up. Yeah, weight's in your right leg. Yeah, and you're turning and looking behind. There you go. Yep, good, that's it. Exhale, arms down, turn all the way back, step back, and stand. Open, and out, turn, look up. Yeah, you're looking up and back. Yep. Arms down, turn back, step back, and straighten. Open, bend, step out, start to turn. You swivel on that back left heel, arms reach up and look up. More weight, much more weight in your right leg. Yeah. Exhale, arms down, turn back, step back, then straighten. Open, then step out. Feel free to take a wide stance. Start to reach. Now our weight's in our left leg. Look up and back. Yes. Arms down. Leg in. And straighten. So that gets all on a side. That gets everything. So now we're going to move into brush the shoes. So with our hands, we're going to you're going to start with your left hand, and you're going to follow the hand. I'm going to follow the hand so it's coming back and up. And you keep following it. It's going to come across your body and end up over on the your right chest. This hand is going to come down now, down this outer body, as far down as you can, this leg. You brush the top of your shoes, and then make a fist, and it comes up the outside of your left leg, and you stand strong. Good. And then you switch. Follow the right hand, it comes up. It comes to the edge. And this same hand is going to come down the side of the body. Try to go all the way down the outside of your left leg over the tops of your feet, and it comes up the outer right leg and standing. So please be like gentle to your back. If you need to lift and lower your body with more leg strength, bend your knees, and that will disengage your back. So what I'm saying is, when you come here, you could be doing something like this. I'm bending a lot, and I'm bending to lift up. That will be nicer to your low back, and it won't just engage the back. If you want to start to use more and more leg strength, if you squeeze your legs together, we're going to try it on this next round. If you ask your legs to stay, whether they're bent or straight, if you glue them together, that will engage the inner leg and not make the outer leg do everything. The outer leg doing everything is your low back doing everything. Okay, so that's what we want to avoid. Okay, so we'll start this first side. Comes back behind you. Try to follow it all the way back behind you. Follow it all the way in front of you, and then the elbow bends, and it comes here in the opposite chest. It comes down this leg. Bend your knees if you need to. Legs straight or bent, you are pulling them together. And come across the feet, and then again, legs straight or bent, strong legs coming up. Good. And other side. Back, follow the hand, coming up and over. It comes to the other chest. Pretty good. And then down this outer leg, across the feet, and then up the outer your left leg if you started on the other side. Good. There we go. Good. That's called brush the shoes. Okay, so I want to move into new parts of the form. Right. So we're gonna work to cover. We're gonna work to cover press and push, single whip. I just want to keep always saying them so it kind of becomes natural. What's next? We're gonna go from ward off left, ward off right, to press and push, to single whip, and maybe even to play guitar. We'll see how far we get. Yeah. So, anybody need a spray? I need a little spray on this one. Use any of those. Like, this is better than DEET apparently. Anybody else? Everybody good? No, okay. We went into the real woods today, like the woods, and I used the real stuff. So. Okay, let's go into ward off right with this compress where we just ended. And then at some point we'll go through everything. So here we are in ward off right. The ward off right position. This left claw has just closed. You're not on a tightrope like this, okay? You're not on a balancing beam. This foot, you should have a good, yes, you should have a good hip width, at least hip width, maybe shoulder width stance. Perfect. Here we are, ward off right. Now we're going to come into what is called roll back. Now what I want you to do is this hip crease, think of turning your upper body around the pole because you just closed, yes, you just closed the hip crease. You closed the right hip crease, yes. Now we're going to do what's called roll back. In the left hand, rotate this melon, rotate this chi ball, and the left hand, as you sit back into the left leg, is going to come down the edge, this knife edge of your right arm. So we go from close and then roll back, shift weight back. The left hand's going to end up about here, but then it continues. You open this left claw, open, and now we move into press because my weight's back here in the left leg. Now I'm going to press, weight into the right leg, and it's called pull or push, and then press again, yes, and then end up in the back leg straight. Arms straight, back leg bent, front knee bent. So that is ward off right, roll back, press pull. We're gonna do that again. Ward off right. Okay, I'm seeing some things that we need to start to correct now. Why a little wider stances, okay? So it's going to be a lot easier and feel more noticeable to shift your weight if you have a wider stance. If your legs are very close together, it's very difficult to feel like that you actually had a weight shift. So feel free to, if you end up legs too close together, just pick a foot up and get a little wider. So here we are.
Back? How far back?
No, that's too big. That's too big. It has to do with like how tall you are. You know, Chris is going to have a wider stance than all of us, but I would say a little wide. It's going to be in the shoulder width area, right? Because you just came from ward off left and you stepped. You know, so it's like I can't give you. So my answer is I don't know. My answer is I can't give you the measurement. But that looks good. It was too close before and that looks better. So here we are in ward off right. And what you're going to do is close this right claw. Close by turning to the right. Yes. Now shift back, roll back. Hands come down the knife and left hand comes down. Yeah. Down the knife edge and then open the hips. That's going to open the hand out. Now we shift weight into the front, into the right leg. Yeah, and now pull back and press. Yes. And pull back. Okay, now that we're getting we're getting that better. Now I want to show you that you actually are not moving your arms at all. You just move your body, right? So here I go. I'm in ward off right. I mean, when you roll back, you do. So I'm in ward off right, like this. I turn, roll back, big open, and now we press. I press because I just turned this chest. Yes, that's great. That's good. Yeah, you turn, you press because you just turned your body. And then all you have to do is open and your hands are gonna come back. And all we have to do is move forward with the chest and the arms go forward. Beautiful, very good. And now straighten the arms a little bit. Does that feel different rather than just doing this number? So press, pull, or press, you'll see it called press push or press pull. Press pull, and now we'll go into what's called single whip, which is really cool. You're really gonna start to feel like we're getting some of the steps in here now. Here we go. Ward off right, get your stance. Weight is in the front foot. Yeah, weight is in the front leg. Close the right quad. We turn to the right, perfect. Left hand, roll back. Now my weight's in the left, yeah, you got it. And now we press, open, press again, weight into the right leg, and now straighten the arms, your weight's in the back leg. Okay, next movement. We are going to keep the arms straight. My weight is in my left leg, and you're going to turn towards me, turn to the front. You're going to swivel on this right heel, and when you shift the weight into the back, here we get this chi ball again. Yes, awesome, good. So go ahead, all that back to the beginning, to just straight arms. Weights in the back leg, yeah, turn, shift weight back, and hands are in chi ball land, and I have my weight in this leg. Two things happen at once. I lift up the left leg, and I straighten out the right arm in what's called a hook or a claw, peck position, like a beak. Here, then we step out, and there's the same ward off position. Good. Okay. So the step out, this is basically the step out and doing, this is why we're doing all these hip openers, because you just took this left leg all the way around. So it's got to go behind where the original stance was. So when I was here, weights in here, I shift here, I come here. I'm stepping this foot not there, because then all of a sudden we don't have the good wide stance. I'm stepping this foot way out here. And this is why we're doing all this. This leg has all the weight, and I'm stepping with the empty leg. Because if there's no tension in the leg, it'll give you a bigger stance. So right here, come into your chi ball land, and you have the weight. Sometimes I just have to go from the beginning. Here, yeah. Bring this left foot in and make it empty. Yeah, there we go. And you're going to step it way back there, and the arm coming out at the same time. Now when I shift the weight, it's like a windshield wiper, boom, with the left hand. Nice, and then you're in front stance. There you go, good. So you see all these moves, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts, but if you get it all lost, then we just go back to the weight shift. Get back to the weight shift. So I want you to, we're gonna do it together. We're gonna do all the way up to single whip. And then there's a really significant part of the Tai Chi and we're gonna start to get into this, because you're gonna do it on your own at your house. You start to work on the pieces that you need to work on your own, you know what I mean? And I come around and I can help you. Because you see, it's difficult for me to see you while I'm trying to show you. So let's all do together, up all the way up to single whip, and then we'll work on it a little bit on our own. Okay, so here we go. Preparation. Like this. Shift weight. Out. Get up. Inhale. ball. Pick up and swivel on the right heel. Weight into the weight into the toes of the right foot. Pick up the left foot and switch your arm. Right palm down, left palm towards you. Turn on the right toes and put the heel where the toes were and shift weight. Close the left quad and compress. Very good. Turn to the right by closing the right quad. Yes. Shift weight back into left leg. Roll back. Hand is coming down the outer arm. Yes. Big arc with the left hand. Now we shift weight into the right foot and press. Yes, hands touch. So we start to fine tune now. The heel of the left hand pushes into the right, and then you open, shift back. Yes. Push again or press again. Shift back. Keep your arms where they are so that straightens the arm. Beautiful. Good. Turn on the right toes as your arms straighten and come to me. Shift weight back into the right leg. Chi ball time. Yes. Turn on the left toes. Step out and then hook with the right hand. Shift weight. Left palm forward. Close the right quad. Single whip. That's awesome, guys. I'm really pleased with that. Yeah. So go ahead and start on your own. I will give you advice that to give your mind things to do. Say in your mind say the move that you're about to do, because it's kind of like a script. If you don't know what the name of it is, it can just help kind of jog your memory of what the move is, especially when we're learning the moves one by one, and linking them together. So go ahead into preparation. Good. Good. And begin. Go ahead and shift your weight. Step out. Pick up those right toes and lift up. Go ahead at your own pace. Yep. Nice. Going into preparing for ward off. Left. Shift. Get your chi ball.
Get lost there. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right. No, that's it.
I mean, I know the things, I just don't know them in my head. So
It's
I mean,
okay. Here we are. We're here. Now we shift weight and we get the chi ball. Turn right toes. So it's not a step. It's all we do is swivel on the right heel. Yeah. And then lean weight into the right. Then this is where we're going to step on this straight line. Step. Yep. Perfect. And ward off left. That's it. Good. Now we turn on the right toes and this starts to activate. Turn on the right toes. This happens. And you put the heel where the toes just were. And when you shift weight, that lifts the right hand. Then to totally compress, you turn. Yes. And the turn happens when you swivel on that back heel.
Okay.
Yep.
I can follow. I just don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
it memorized enough to know how to do it on my own.
No, total. That's what I'm trying to layer with
Me either.
a visual,
I'm not-
words,
Oh, yeah.
visual words, and all that.
No,
So
we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
I just have, I mean, when I follow you, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's doing, but you put me on my own, I'm like, okay, where am I?
So
Okay,
typically
where we
when my best advice when you just kind of go like, what's next? Usually there's a weight shift that's going to start the next move. Usually, even with something where you're not even stepping and doing things, even something like this, here we are in ward off right, like, ooh, what's next? Okay, I'm going to turn and then I'm going to weight shift back. That's going to make my arms move. And then weight shift forward. And again, weight shift. Chi ball. Weight shift. Yeah. Good. Good. No, I'm very encouraged because I love the form, and truth be told, straight up honesty, I have never loved teaching it. I have found it very frustrating to teach it. But I'm loving this. So I mean, it's an interesting, it's a nice change for me, because I might have been, it probably was my own impatience, you know, of like, well, it's just like this, you know, just do it like this. But really, the whole practice is to just continually be mindful and just watch and look at all the pieces and watch, and then the result is like, oh, there's, wow, you know, this beautiful form in a year. It'll take about a year with weekly study, you know. So
And
just
so there's 37 total moves, is that correct?
there's 37 named moves, but like there's as you see in the form, it'll be like, hey, we're gonna do ward off left again, so they don't count that again.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
there is some repetition, but like I said, Chen Ching, he took out a lot of there was like whole repetition sections, and he took them out because he was trying to modernize it. So anyway, so
So how
thank
many
you for
moves
joining
is
me.
that? Can I ask? I mean, so when you
How
get
many
to,
was the
you know, the last thing that you did? How many is that?
that we
4 or
got
5
to?
moves?
We got to single whip. So we got to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got to 6.
Gotcha.
What's the whip
Yeah.
part? What's that part?
The whip is this thing.